Hopefully you don't mind that I smoke.
No, I don't. I mean, you're not near me, so we're good. Just kidding. Alrighty.
Hold on, I'm gonna get rid of this glare. See if that helps any.
It's still there. No, now you're right in
Nope.
front of. Nope, you're right in front of it now. Sorry, we got people watching. Hi, everyone.
Now I think I'm in the dark.
That's okay. Actually, I can see you better now.
Yeah, it was a bad glare.
That's okay. It happens. All right, I'm just sharing out the live. I'll share it to you too, so you can share it out to people if you want. Well, we got 5 people, so we can start talking now. Hi, Jennifer. All right, so tonight we have Michael Ring from um, oh my god, I can't even think now. I'm gonna say it wrong because that's why you're like part of like 10 different groups I know of. It's Underground Paranormal United Net. Or see, like
Nope.
I'm combining everything now. Underground
Underground Paranormal
Paranormal
Network.
Network. I know because I was part of the other one that was similar, and I wanted to combine them both. So that's my bad. I'm part of that group too. Duh. And
She
then
don't even
we
know the name of it.
no, because I want to combine the one I used to be part of and then the underground, and I want to combine them together. So that's my fault. Look at because I got the blonde hair now. Sorry to all my blonde fans. It's just me. Silly. Anyways, tell us a little bit about yourself and who you belong to, Michael. You're better at it
Well,
than I am.
um, I've probably been in the paranormal field, as some of you guys know, a little over 15 years. Um, I ran my own team back in those days. It was called Middletown Paranormal Network. I mean, Middletown Paranormal um, Investigation. So ended up having to split that up, and I started seeking another team, and I ended up meeting Austin Maynard back in 2015, and we together formed CCP, Creepy Cincinnati
That's it.
Paraforensics.
Creepy. I couldn't remember the creepy. I had the Cincinnati thing. I'm like, okay, I'm like not with it today. I apologize. It's one of those days. Oh, my best friend's on. Hi, Elizabeth Renee.
But
Eddie Penn, MJ, Eric,
yeah,
Jennifer.
we've
Thank
been
you.
going pretty strong ever since. We ended up acquiring a school back when we back in 2017, the Higginsport School,
Uh huh.
and we ran that one for a while. We even had Paranormal Lockdown come out with Nick Groff. We had them come out, and they did the episode there. Speaking of Nick Groff, congratulations to Austin for getting the tech
Right.
manager position.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I thought that was awesome for Austin.
Absolutely. That's
But
very awesome.
Austin formed the Underground Paranormal Network, which CCP and Spectral Ohio Paraforensics is also part of. Me, Austin, and Eric are partners in that. So, but
And
Austin
and
created it.
and we're part of it. Two Spirits, One Connection. We're part of that too.
Yep,
So it's a
it's a
great
network of locations.
yes. It's not like any other all the other networks out there. This one is specifically he heads up all these different locations and he finds the caretakers for them and we take care of the different locations. So unfortunately ours is gone for now.
Yeah, Austin has done an amazing job at putting these locations together. Of course, I've helped out too. I picked up the Broadwell Funeral Home.
Oh, are you
So
doing that one now?
no, that was one of the locations that
Oh,
I
that
I
you found.
acquired for UGPN.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Yeah, he's so we got Glaze Village,
Yep.
Broadville Funeral Home, Middle Point School, which you're the caretaker for.
Yep.
Um, and then is it Westwood?
Westwood
Yeah,
School,
Westwood. And then there's a newer location.
the Williams County Jail.
Okay, that the newest one?
No, we're not allowed to disclose the
I
new
was
one just
I was
yet.
gonna I was gonna say I didn't think, and I don't even know where the new one is. I can't remember.
It's an awesome location, and I cannot wait to get in there to investigate. I mean, I'm stoked that we have a chance to, get free access to this location and stuff
Right,
when we can get a chance to get that far. But
right. And that'll be
we're
cool.
not allowed to disclose it yet.
Yeah, I didn't think we were. And then I know like Austin will do like I think on May 7th they have some tickets still available for the Broadwell Techro, is it the no, it's Wrath Chasers, isn't it?
Yeah, the Wraith Chasers will be there. Mike and Chris from Tennessee Wraith Chasers. That's May 7th. That's
Yeah,
only a couple weeks away.
no, next weekend.
Yeah, next weekend actually. Um, I think that's going to be an awesome event. We kept that one small, and everybody that comes will get a free dinner. They'll get to sit down and eat with them and take pictures, autographs, all that. It'll be a very personal day for everybody
Right.
that's there. It won't be like a big crowd of people. It's just we kept it very small.
Yeah, we wanted to come help, but unfortunately I'm getting tattoos done at 3:30. So
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that in group text.
yeah, the one I got done 2 years ago, it didn't take very well on my ankle, so he's redoing it. He's like, that should have never happened. He's like, I'll fix it. So he's fixing that, and then I'm getting one across here. In Polish, it means I love you. So, but it's something my mom used to say, so I'm having it in her handwriting. So
Nice.
because she passed away 5 years ago. So
Sorry for your loss.
oh, I know it seems like yesterday. But Lucy says I'm investigating a firehouse tomorrow night. Oh, that would be fun.
Well,
You know,
I
it'd be
was
really fun is to do that, and like if they had one of those sliding poles, go down the sliding pole. I don't know. That would be fun. Do they even have those anymore?
I don't know.
MJ says, "Tell Michael hey from the Michael Holics."
What's up, MJ? I can't see any comments, so
Oh yeah, because you're on your phone. Okay,
yeah.
then I will try to post them on the screen. Maybe you'll see them then. Um, I'm not sure who MJ is, but hey MJ.
I know who MJ is.
um. Oh, that would be cool.
They're some of my creepy people.
They're your creepy people. I know.
I'm
I'm
gonna
like
say
looking
that.
at.
I'm gonna say that politely.
Well. I had to apologize for my weirdness tonight because I don't know what's going on. I have no idea. My brain is, melted. I guess I have no idea. So, Marlene. Somebody else says, "Hey, Mike and Holly." Marlene. I'm not.
Sure I'll know. I'm sure I'll know most of them.
Yeah, I'm not gonna botch her names whatsoever. Shernike, I did not even. A says hi. Yep. So, all right. So, what is it? Because you run Middle Point School. Tell us a little bit about Middle Point.
Oh, I love that location.
The good and the bad. I want to know the good and the bad.
Oh, too many crazy experiences there. Oh my God. Love the location. That's why I chose. That's why I chose that location specifically for me to be the caretaker of, because I have a great connection with the spirits in there, and they know me by name. They'll tell me some of them will tell me they love me, others want to kill me. It just depends on who I'm dealing with at what time, I guess. It can get crazy active, or it can be quiet.
Right.
I mean,
I think
I've seen it. I've seen it be rather quiet, and I've seen it get insanely active.
I think that's with any location, though. It can be dead one day and alive the next.
Oh yeah. Now
I mean,
me and Eric had an amazing night. One night, we hung out after a team had left. Might have even been after a public event, and we stuck around. I just know it was me and Eric staying there till like the sun came up, and there was this woman. She just kept screaming like she was being murdered, and she was doing it on response. And I really don't know what we were dealing with that night, but if you could have felt the energy that surrounded that whole entire room we were in, it was just insane. I mean, the energy was just so dark, so negative. I think even if a person can't feel things, they would have felt that.
right. Yeah, those sometimes when they get like very negative, it's I think you're right. Anybody would feel that because I know that everybody's probably sick of me talking about Hinsdale House, but that's the only place that really made me a negative person. Um, so it'll be nice to like go back there. But yeah, I think that you know anybody would feel those, even if you didn't have abilities. Of course.
Speaking of Hinsdale House, I have picked up a spirit there that I still communicate with here in Ohio almost every time I turn on a ghost box. I connect with him.
Who was that?
He calls himself Mr. James, and he says he's the last 200-year-old dead prophet. And that's where, I mean, if you go back on our CCP page and watch the live feeds from the Hinsdale House. I think it was like last July when we went there, and oh my God, this guy is insane. He knows everything. You can't stump him, whether it be what's going on in the world today, as far as everything that's going on. I ain't even gonna get into all that, but and then he knows everything that's biblical. I mean, the guy is just super intelligent, and I can carry on hours and hours of full-on conversation with this spirit. And
now,
even Dan, I believe it's Dan, right? From the Hinsdale House?
Yes.
Even he didn't know who Mr. James was, and that's where we picked him up at. Then the next night we went to Wildwood Sanitarium.
Yeah.
And he followed.
He
followed. Yeah. That's fun. And he fought. And then we picked him up again when we were doing a residential in Felicity.
Huh. Interesting.
And I've been talking to him ever since.
Okay, so are you communicating with him on one of the boxes?
Yeah, I use it's the ink box made by KD.
So was that the first time you used the ink box? Was at Hinsdale?
No, it wasn't the first time, but that's where we picked him up at.
Oh, because I was just curious if maybe he was attached to the box itself.
Oh, he is now.
You know what I mean?
He uses it like a phone. Like when I turn it on, he hears that frequency because it's scanning on a short band radio, not
right.
It's not. I'm on shortwave, so
right.
It's not. It can reach really far. So
Eddie Penn said he heard him talk to you, and it was crazy, but he never knew it was from Hinsdale.
I'm sure a lot of people on the live feed is very aware of who Mr. James is.
Okay, so the one time we were there, I think it was for the Brian Felicia fundraiser. I think it was that one. It might have been one after that. But you had the box on the front porch, like outside. Who was coming? Who was coming through? Was that him that was coming through that time, or was it a different spirit?
Was it late at night, or was that in the afternoon?
It was late at night.
Okay, it might have been him. It was either him or this guy that calls himself One. That's what he goes by. I picked him up at the funeral home, and he's still with me today.
Hmm.
I talk to him the same way I do Mr. James.
I
Anytime I
wanna.
say answer the phone, they chime in.
Okay, Sean said it was the ghost hunt for Brian, so he must have been there outside when you were using the box, because I remember there was a somewhat of an intelligent one coming through, because you would ask a question and he responded. I was like, oh, that's pretty good. Like they usually, takes them a minute or two, but
All I have to do
he
is
kept
call
coming
for him.
through. Yeah, that's cool. Hi,
Yeah,
Joel.
all I have to do is call for them, and they'll come no matter where I'm at.
So what's the history with Middle Point School? I know
Well,
there's a lot of history. So what's the history like
as
there?
far as death goes, there's no documented death on the location other than a missing guy the property is adjacent to the school. So
Right.
I can't really get into the logistics on that,
Yeah, because
but
that's still in
the
the
guy
Middle Point.
was arrested in connection with the murder. So that owns the house that's adjacent to the property. So um, that's pretty crazy in itself. But as far as like history goes, it was originally a seminary
Mm-hmm.
in the 1780s. And then later, the seminary shut down, and then it became like uh, I'm trying to remember the name of it right off the top of my head. It turned into a school for a short time,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it starts with a B, and I'm really trying to remember it. Um, and right off the top of my head I can't. But anyway, it was a school after it was a seminary, and then it became a school again. In 1885, they founded the normal school, which
Mm-hmm.
was a, which was kind of like a college for teachers to
Okay.
learn and to learn to be teachers, I guess. Um,
Yeah, because we need to
and
do
yeah,
that.
and then later on it became the Middle Point School.
Okay. Um. Now, I mean, that's pretty good history going back that far. Wasn't it who how did you guys find out that it was a seminary in the beginning? Like did it wasn't the story I heard somebody yet there was a medium that saw nuns
Well,
or something?
actually, yeah, Brandy Marie was with us. I'm sure a lot of you guys know who Brandy Marie is, of course.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if it
Um,
was her or if it was somebody else.
it was Brandy.
Okay.
Me, and her, and I think Austin and somebody else was standing in the hallway, and she goes, "Why do I keep seeing effing nuns?" I'm trying to watch my mouth here, so
Thank you,
bear
because
with me here.
it is a family show, so
Um,
that's okay.
okay, but
It happens
Brandy
sometimes.
said, "Why do I keep seeing priests and nuns in a school walking up and down the hallways? I don't get it." And my researcher at the time happened to hear her say that on a live feed because I was live.
Right.
And um, so she went digging, and she found all that stuff. She found all kinds of old photos of Middle Point, that all the stuff that some of it's still there today, like the train station in its heyday and all that,
Uh-huh.
which is right across the street from the school. But she found all this information.
Right. That's cool. Um, Now, who's the old man in the basement?
Well, let me make this clear. I'm not the one who named this guy. He named himself because I know it sounds cheesy. So, but he calls himself Bob the Boiler Man. That's what he calls himself. His name is Bob. He
Bob
used
likes
to
the
work for the
ladies.
school. Yeah, he used to work for the school. He's one of the people in there that likes to attack people, and he's fully capable of it.
Yeah.
Um, there's been a lot of people which I would call have paranormal attacks there,
Yeah,
and
he definitely likes the ladies. That's for sure.
yeah,
Roberto. Hi, Austin. Yeah, he
yeah,
I know the one time I was down there with a group, they were all standing in a circle, and I was like, "He's about to hit you. You might want to move." And she's like, "Oh my god, I just felt him touch me." I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, he's there, right behind you." But yeah, he's a different breed, I think.
Yeah, he had a thing for my oldest daughter. He kept calling her hot stuff.
Uh-oh. You're ready.
And
Fight Bob.
surprisingly, and surprisingly, he doesn't leave the basement very often, but he does roam once in a while. And he was following her all through the school. He wouldn't leave her alone. Even put a big red handprint right across the back of her neck.
Oh no. That's not good. And what
No,
did she and what it did does she go in there very often?
no, she's been a few times. That's about it.
How old is she?
30. I hate
Okay.
to say that.
I was gonna I like you just stunned me because I'm like you don't seem old enough to have a 30-year-old, but okay.
Well, I'll take that as a compliment.
I mean, I have an almost 19-year-old, and I'm not old enough to have a 19-year-old. So, hey, we're right there. That's what
Right?
I keep telling myself that. I have to tell myself that.
Yeah, I was 17 when I had her.
Okay. That's all right. I know a lot of people have, but yeah. Them young kids, I tell you, they keep us young. Anywho, all right. So I have a question for you.
What's
In the
that?
basement, you have to explain this to me because I don't like that basement, and it's not because Bob's down there. Do you remember what I don't like in the basement? I know
I
you.
think you mentioned it a couple of weeks ago when we were at Middle Point, and I'm trying to
Yes,
remember what you said.
they're eight-legged creepy creatures.
Oh, the crawlers.
the the ghostly white spiders. Why are they white? What
Oh, I don't
is
know.
that? What is that? And they're
I thought he
alive
was
too.
actually talking
I know
about the
Eric.
things.
No, Eric always tells me it's a fungus, but I just want to know why they get a fungus. Oh, what is that on them? And they're still alive because when you shine them, you can see their legs move. It's like they're frozen though. Yeah, Marlene gets it. The white spiders. They're gross. They're
Yeah,
creepy.
she knows. She goes to Middle Point with me a lot and hangs out with me.
They're creepy. Is
Her and
that
Glenna sometimes will show up at 2 o'clock in the morning when the teams finish and I'm still there. I usually hang out alone till daylight, just investigating by myself. But sometimes Marlene or Glenna will pop in on me in the middle of the night, scare the crap out of me.
were they on the last investigation, the public
Yes,
one?
they were. Both of them
Is
were.
she short? Is she the lady with the short hair?
Yeah,
The
one's got the reddish hair and the other one's got the white hair. Glenna's the white haired one.
okay. I probably started talking to you, and then I just have to picture your face, and then I'll know who you are because I don't remember names all the time.
Yeah, they were there at the event with us.
Eddie Pence says he's had an epic experience at Middle Point the first time he was there. Awesome location.
Yeah, I'll see you, Eddie, I think in
Yeah,
October, if I ain't mistaken.
Marlene says she was in the basement with me. Yeah, yeah, I
If I
think
ain't
I remember
mistaken,
her.
Eddie's got a date booked for October.
Oh yeah. Well, we're going to Hinsdale Mile with Eddie Pence next month. I'm excited for that. But Eddie Pence had a question for you, and I don't want to skip it, so I have to go back a little bit so you can see it. He said, "This is a hilarious question for Mike. Ask if he's heard an epic fart come through the ink box again." What's that?
I have
What is that about, Michael?
that's actually happened before on the Ghost Box.
Okay, so elaborate, because that would be
All I can tell
funny.
you is it happened. Something farted on the Ghost Box, and it was definitely exactly what everybody heard and what I know what he's talking about. But I have no real explanation why that happened, but it did.
That's hilarious. I would probably just like just go, did I just hear that? And just crack up laughing.
Oh, I've
Because,
heard some funny things over the ghost boxes, things you wouldn't even think would come through ghost boxes. So
well, it's funny because one of my teammates, Becky, she has one of the Jeff Fent boxes, and we had it turned on at her house, and we were in her bedroom because she's had some activity in her house, and I had said something of, I'm like, oh, we should learn how, because she does a lot of woodworking. I'm like, I should learn the insides of how to make boxes. You can make the actual outside boxes, and then we'll just need a name. And then I'm like, what could we call it? And I'm like, oh, we could call them a hobo box, because Holly and Becky. And her box and we kind of started laughing because we thought it was funny. Her daughter laughed, and all of a sudden the box laughed, and we're like, it just laughed with us. So that was pretty cool.
yeah, speaking of ghost boxes, Austin just finished up my idea for a ghost box that he did a great job of making, which was my Scooby Doo mystery machine with the figures included. It
I
works
know
great.
that was awesome. I know Ace
We
loves that. He's a Scooby Doo fan.
we got to use it. He brought it to me Saturday night over at Westwood. I was hanging out over at Westwood School um, this past Saturday,
Uh-huh.
and he showed up out of the blue and brought it to me. So
That's awesome. And it worked really well.
oh, it worked great. Worked great. He did an amazing job on it.
Awesome.
It's
Yeah,
got
he's
built in. It's a built-in EMF detector. The headlights light up. The top of the van lights up, and the back of the van lights up if anything touches it with LED lights.
that's awesome. Good
So
job,
it's not just a
Austin.
ghost box; it's a
It's an
EMF
every
detector ghost box.
See, now Austin, you need to make Ace one of those. So then he'll have two Scooby Doo boxes.
Yeah,
He's got
just don't buy your Scooby Doo stuff off of the I mean, at the off of eBay because you'll pay a good penny for it. But um,
Yeah,
I picked some up at the flea market. They were like $15 for the
right.
van.
Yeah, that's what I have to start doing is going into more of the antique places. It's funny because we went in November to see my son graduate from the basic and AIT, and we there was absolutely nothing to do there, nothing, because we were in Fort Lost in the Woods, which is Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri, and so we went to an antique store just for the heck of it because there was nothing else to do. And I saw a box there and I sent Austin a picture and I was like, I should have bought it. I should have bought it. It was very old, like it was metal and it had all different like gadgets on it. I was like, I should have just bought it. It would have been cool.
I actually am about to give him a 1966 Batmobile to turn into a ghost box.
That would be cool. I'll get you a mystery machine. But yeah, those. I mean, it's cool that he can like Austin does that, where he can turn pretty much anything into a box. I think that's
If,
awesome.
if it's got room in the inside, I'm sure he can make it work.
Yeah, I think that's pretty awesome. That's definitely you have to have the. I tried reading up on some of it, and I was like, yep, there's no way my brain doesn't work that way. I'm
The
a
way
hands
I see it, the
I'm
way
a,
I see it with the ghost box, hand it to me, tell me that it works, and I'll make it work.
right. I'm a hands-on learner though, so I would actually have to have somebody walk me through and show me how to manipulate all the different, inside components, and then it would stick to me. Then I'd be like, "Oh yeah, this is easy. This is what this means." And but just to read about it, nope, nope, I don't work that way.
Yeah, Austin and Eric both do a great job at building these ghost boxes.
I didn't know Eric did it too.
Yeah, actually have one right in front of me from Eric.
Oh, sweet. We're gonna have
Yeah,
a
there
whole
it is.
team of builders.
There it is. My CCP.
Nice. We are. We're gonna have a whole team of box builders. Austin's gonna have like the top 5 on his network here.
right?
Well, he does a good
I'm gonna actually start building them too. So,
see, we'll just have a whole team. See, Austin, you're just gonna have to train us all.
right? Just
And I
gotta
know
sit down and do the videos.
and I know Katie kept saying she wants more female box builders. So there you go, Austin. You just got to start teaching us females now too.
Actually, one of our other team members is building them too.
And then
Beth is also
yeah,
building them.
that's what I thought. I saw Beth. See,
Yep.
you just gotta train me now, and I'll start building them too.
He's learning from two of the best people he could, three of the best people he could possibly.
Yeah.
Well, technically four. Steve and Katie Halte.
Yeah.
He's learning from them. He's learning from Jay. He's learning from KD.
Right.
I mean, you can't learn from any better right there. Those people all together that's knowledge right there. You can't really buy.
Right. I know. That's awesome. He's doing very well. Sorry, we're bragging on you, Austin. We're bragging on you.
I can't say enough good about Austin. He's a great guy. Anybody that gets to know Austin, I mean, would realize, yeah, he's a great guy. And he's done an amazing job of putting all these events together, the locations, all the logistics to do everything legally and do everything right, with the insurance, the whole 9 yards.
Most definitely. And that's time consuming too. So
yeah, I'm sure Colleen gets a little mad at him from time to time.
But you know what? He's passionate, and that's, I mean, just like the rest of us, this is something we're passionate about. Some people it might be a hobby, some people it's their career, some people, just do it for fun, and others do it for scientific reasons. So we're all trying to figure out why spirits exist. And I applaud everybody that's in it. I learn from everybody,
Anybody that says they've learned everything they need to know is full of shit. Sorry.
Well, no, and I think you're right, because I think also the people who say they're experts in the field, there's no experts. I'm sorry.
There are no
I've
experts.
only been in.
We can call ourselves professionals, but we can never call ourselves experts.
Right. And what is a professional though, too? I mean,
I
if
just
you
mean,
act in a professional manner,
professional.
right? Yeah, and anybody can do that.
Coming in, if you're doing like a residential case, you don't want to go in acting a fool and start going in and provoking things and leaving this family with a mess after you're done goofing off. And I mean, you gotta handle stuff like that very professional, in a very professional way.
Absolutely, I agree with you 100%.
It's not like going to a location, like me at Middle Point or the funeral home or Westwood or wherever you want to put me at. Right. I got relationships with these spirits, and I can joke around with them, and they joke right back with me. And but you can't go into somebody's house doing that.
Right, absolutely. And
so there's a difference.
Well, and I think the reason why, because you've been at Middle Point for a long time, where we used to be part of the Detroit Six, even though we had a short, long life there, a year, but I think the spirits get to know us when we're there constantly there. They get to thinking we're almost like family to them, we're essentially going into their home, that's how I say it. Yeah. We're going into their home. They're the ones that live there. We don't. So, we have to respect them too. So, but I know there was 2 weeks ago, you're talking about them joking with you. I saw the tall, slender, skinny, however you want it.
The shadow guy, yeah.
Shadow guy on the second floor. And you're like, yeah, he, I'll stand here and tell him to push me down the steps. And I was like, whoa. We don't want you falling and breaking your neck.
He
like, nope.
threatens me. He threatens to push me down the stairs to kill me. He doesn't ever do nothing. He's not evil or nothing.
Right.
He's a smart aleck. I tried to say
Well,
that nicely.
well, it's funny because Austin had he had the green, the, oh my god, I can't even think of it now. The
All the
tripwire.
tripwires.
The tripwire's on the ground. And I was like, well, look at this sneaky little one. Like, he literally snuck across the wall and didn't even touch the tripwires. I was like, yeah, he's a smart one. It's like, that's
Speaking
sneaky.
of, I actually have one of those right here.
Oh yeah, I got one too. Austin was yeah, they're
Austin
nice.
is selling these, by the way. Holy shit, my box came on.
Carmen, we don't actually do readings on this show. Sorry. It's just a podcast. Yeah, that's a love and hate relationship for you guys. Now, I have a question for you because I think this happens a lot. Down the hallway when you come up the one set of stairs at the very end where the fan is.
Yeah.
A lot of people's necklaces get broken there. Do they not?
Yes.
Because I know mine last year at the Brian Felicia one. I thought it was just me. And I was like, oh, my necklace just came off and I didn't even think twice about it. I just went along with it. And then I heard probably the second time we went that somebody else's necklace. I was like, oh, that happened to me right in the same spot. So I felt special.
It actually happened to Becky.
Yeah.
One of our Eric's wife, Becky, one of our team members. Yeah, it actually happened to her. Necklace broke it right in half. So
Do you know who's doing it? Which stairs
no
is
clue. Whoever it
no?
is just being sneaky. Now
That
one of them it didn't break it, but you can watch it on a video clip. I think
right.
it's posted on Middle Point School page, but she's wearing a cross, and all of a sudden it just goes.
Well, it's
And there was
funny
it was
because
pretty crazy.
these ones that I have right here, where I had it on a metal chain and that's what broke. So now I have it on a rope because I'm like, well, that's not going to happen again. I don't want to lose these. These are my favorite two necklaces, and this one too. But I'm like, I don't want to lose those. So yeah, I put them on like a leather roping now, so it wouldn't break. So if they break it, then I'll be like totally shocked. But I was like, yeah. Oh, Julie Granger. It was her video. But
Yeah,
yeah, I was just wondering if you knew who it was that was doing it,
I was
who the
trying to
prankster
remember her
was.
name. I just couldn't remember it right off the top of my
Yeah.
head. I meet so many of the investigators, week after week, all through, from like March all the way till
Right.
this year it went all the way into January. I was like, you guys are crazy. Do you realize how cold it is in there?
Right.
I was like,
Yeah.
this ain't gonna last very long. Sure
we're
enough, around
gonna have to
11:30, they're like, we're freezing. I was like, I told you.
right. It's time to go. Wear your
You're
snow
in the concrete school with no heat. It's
right.
gonna be cold in there.
Well, even 2 weeks ago when we went, it was pretty chilly. It wasn't super
Yes.
bad, but it was definitely cold. But
Yeah, Westwood was definitely still cold in there this past weekend. I let a lot of the cold air out. I opened up the doors while it was 80 degrees for a couple hours.
right.
So
And that
you could literally feel the cold air just flowing out of the building. If you were standing on the porch, it felt like you was standing in the central air right on the porch.
right. And what's funny with all these locations, they're really super cold in the winters and then they're super super hot in the summer and you're like, I can't do this. I can't even think to ask what questions. I'm so hot.
Well, I'm hoping to get on Jerry this over the summer when he's on vacation, because he's a robotics professor for a college up there somewhere around Van Wert or something.
Mhm.
But I'm going to get on him. He's got 6 big furnaces that we're going to install in the school. So
Oh,
during
okay.
the winter, it will be able to stay open.
Oh, that's nice. That would be
Yeah, it
cool.
should, those will heat the entire building.
Right. Right. Yeah,
Someone
that
try to
would be
get
fun.
on him if he can spare some of his time to hook all this stuff up
Right. Now, I we met the owner a couple weeks ago. Does he come and investigate a lot
next
too,
Jerry.
or does he
Yeah,
come
he
and
hangs out with
investigate?
me a lot. He
Does
hangs
he?
out with me a lot. Yeah.
Is he a believer?
He wasn't.
Oh, he wasn't. You made him a
Let's
believer.
just say after a few minutes of being with me, he was no longer a non-believer.
I always wondered that because, like, so how many people own buildings that are true believers? I mean, you would think they would be if they're doing this in their buildings, but not
They're
every.
very
I
aware of
think,
who he is.
yeah,
Um, they're very aware of who he is and that he owns the building, and they all seem to be okay with him. None of them ever mess with him when he's in there alone. So that's cool because
right,
a lot of people can't say that.
right. So
And
yeah,
speaking of the shadow guy, you brought that up, the guy
uh-huh.
in the hallway. One of my team members, Melissa, actually captured that. Um, I haven't posted it on the page yet, but I need to post it. I have the copy of the pictures. She took two pictures back to back, and the first one you could see something manifesting right there by the top of the staircase,
Hmm.
and next picture you see him from waist, about from the crotch up, you can see him, and he's wearing like a black leather jacket and a white shirt.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty clear when you look at the picture what you're looking at. It's like she caught him.
Yeah, and I just know he was. I could tell he was really tall and very slender, and
Yep.
he seemed like he was a sneaky one. I'm
He's
like,
definitely
he's
wearing some
sly.
type of jacket.
Right, right. I almost when I was getting an image of him, I almost had it was almost like a suit, like a black suit with a white what and almost like if he were to have, but he didn't have it
Could
on, but
possibly be a suit jacket.
like one of those top hats, the ones like Lincoln wore. That's
Yeah,
kind of how I pictured him, but
it
with
could
with
be
the
a
top,
suit
but he didn't
jacket.
have the top hat on. But I just felt like that's kind of the outfit he was wearing when I pictured him. But I know he
I
was just
kind of,
tall and slender.
from what I got out of the picture, I'm going to use an analogy here that's probably going to make you laugh. But John Travolta in
Oh,
Grease, where he's wearing
yeah,
his
yeah,
black leather
yeah,
jacket and the
yep,
white T-shirt.
yep, yep. I could
That's
see
what
that.
this reminded me of when I saw the picture.
Right,
I need
right.
to post the picture so everybody can see it. But
That would be really cool.
um,
I just thought he was. I just watched him, and it's funny because um who was it in that room? And it was the mirror room. So it was Brandy and Katie's wife. I forget her name. I apologize. But it was
Katie's
her.
wife,
Yeah.
Katie,
No, wait. So it's KD and KT. Okay. So
KT, one
yeah.
T,
Yeah.
Kate
So
with a Y.
yeah.
Uh,
All right.
yeah,
So it was
Katie,
Katie.
Katie,
Okay.
and KT.
Okay. So it's Katie. And so it was Brandy and her, and then like the group that I was leading. And I just was standing and she's like, "Who's in the mirror?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry, that's me," because I was too far up because I was watching him come across the floor, and I was like, "Oh, that's me. I'm sorry. I mean, she she just saw a black shadow figure in the mirror, and it was me." And I was like, I was just paying attention to him and not who was in the room with everybody else. So it
Um,
was pretty cool. But I
that
just watched them.
mirror from day one, from my very first time in the school, when I walked in front of that mirror, there's something very bad about that mirror. I don't know what it's seen in its time of being here, but there's
Right.
something bad about that mirror, and I cannot pinpoint it. I don't know
See,
if it's like a gateway or for them to travel in and out of. I don't know, but there's just something so bad about it.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a heaviness to it. And I know some people say it's a portal, and I'm like, I don't know necessarily if I felt it was a portal, but I did, like you said,
I
I
wouldn't
feel
call
like
it necessarily a portal.
I don't think it was, but I felt like it was a doorway. Like it was,
Yeah, like exactly.
and
Not exactly a portal, but
no, yeah, I didn't feel like a whole lot comes through.
no,
I felt
no.
like one or two knows that they can use that as a way to come in. And where they're
It,
coming from, I have no idea. But
and it's
there is
probably the
definitely a heaviness to
sarcastic
it.
guy.
But there is
It's probably
definitely a heaviness to it.
I'm sure the sarcastic guy uses it in some way. There's a guy in the room, he's always there, and I can, everybody can hear him within minutes because I'll
Right.
sit a recorder in that room and I'll walk away. And when I come back, he just ranted and raved for 5 straight minutes, just bitching me out, yelling at me and screaming at me.
That's
But he's all
funny.
cool when I come back over there. He chills out. He's like, "Oh," I was like, "Yeah, I heard every word you said."
A says he likes the dark room.
Hey, what's up, Ace?
I think that's what they call it. Mike's favorite as well. The dark
Oh, the
room.
dark room is definitely my favorite room in the school.
Why is it your favorite part of the
It
school?
it's the most active room in the entire school for sure. I mean, it seems like they all congregate in there. At some point, they all come in there. Every one of them, whether it be the kids or the adults or the negatives.
Now,
Everything congregates in there.
what do you think that used to be?
I had somebody just recently tell me it was the library.
I was just going to ask you if it was the library.
But but here's the thing about the rooms. I
But it
can
has
say this room was one room and this
right,
room was the next room, the art
right,
room, the music room, the English room, math room,
right.
whatever. But each person that's came there, that's went to school there, were different age brackets, would all say something different.
Oh,
So it's almost impossible to say what rooms are what.
unless you find the original
Yeah.
layout.
Our
Yeah.
break room, our break room that we use, the little small one, is
Uh-huh.
the principal's office.
That little
And
one?
the one that's the big one that's adjoined to it with the big counter and the sink and
Right.
all that stuff, that's the office.
The front office. That was
Yeah.
such a little tiny area.
Yeah, it's a small school. I mean
But
it's a
for
village. It's
but for the principal's office, that's like this big.
Yeah, Middle Point is a a small village, so there
Yeah.
probably wasn't a whole lot of children. I mean, it ain't like they had 300 or 400 kids there.
Well, we had some. Never mind. I'm not even gonna say. No. Yeah, it was interesting after we left, just to say the least. Yep, that was fun. Derek says, let's see what Derek says. Something about the library off the dark room freaks me out. Would rather stay in
I
the
already know
basement
who's
than the library.
stalking.
Who? Okay, so what about that? Because I've been in that room, and that's a pretty cool room with all those books.
I talk to that guy every time. He's always in there. I don't know why he stays in that little room, but he's always there. And him and Derek, he does not like Derek. He's a little sarcastic every once in a while to me, but he's still cool with me. But
Right.
he does not like Derek at all. I think he wants to kill Derek, and that's
Oh,
why Derek feels the way he feels about that room.
well, that's not good. Stay out of that room, Derek. I just
Yeah, he
like the
doesn't.
books. Those books were some pretty old books in there. I know when we went for the Brian Felicia event, I was looking at the dates in there. I was like, that's some pretty old books in there.
Yeah, some of them go way back into the early 1800s.
And the anatomy books, those were pretty cool.
There's a few newer ones, but there are some on that shelf that date all the way back into the early 1800s.
I think that's awesome. Like that's what intrigues me, finding old stuff like that. Like,
When we
'cause-
first got to school, it was a mess. I mean, the books and stuff were just thrown all over in one room, and we just picked them all up and brought them in there and stuck them on the shelves and stuff, so nobody could really, just walk off with them,
right.
because we want them to be there to preserve that original history to the school. So
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And it's almost like, because I was touching them, and it's like you almost don't want people to touch them anymore because they're so old. Like, here, put some white gloves on.
right.
If you're going to look at the pages, put some white gloves on. And you might have to have that. So,
One of
but,
these days I'll sit down with Jerry and we'll sit there and go through some of them books and find out, which ones that are very possibly worth quite a bit of money.
well, yeah. Because you
I'm
want
sure
to put those away or something.
I'm sure he would like to know if some of them are not just worthless. Some of them may
Right.
be a first edition of something. Who knows?
Absolutely. Because I think one I found was 1897 or something like that. I was like, ooh.
I think I seen one in there. It was like 1814 or something like that.
Yeah.
So that's pretty old.
So that's what I wasn't going to say. I didn't want to, like, yeah, we got pulled over leaving Middle Point last night. It was about 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. And the sheriff, the highway patrolman that pulled us over, he's like, you guys were serving, and we're like, yeah, it's 2:30 in the morning and it's a cornfield, and we're looking. I noticed the moon. I'm like, look at the moon. So we kind of like swerved one time, and I'm like, there's a car behind us. Like, where did it come from? I started getting nervous because I'm like, where did this car come from? We're in the middle of nowhere in cornfields. And so we got to the stop sign, and he turned on his lights, and we're like, well, shit, what'd we do? We're not going fast because we can't see. And he's like, are you guys drinking? We're like, no. And he's like, okay, so where are you coming from? We're like, Middle Point School. And he's like, oh, like you just sound like, I know Middle Point. What you doing there? We're like, oh, we were on an investigation. And so like he let us go.
We're quite familiar with the local sheriff department.
Yeah, well, he did because we had Michigan license plates, so he probably was like, "Where are you coming from? What are you doing out here in the cornfields?" It was kind of funny, but then he's like, starts asking us questions about paranormal. So yeah, he let us go.
I know that's how it goes. That's what gets you out of your ticket, believe it or not.
Oh, I think so, because we're like, yeah,
I've had it happen at least 5 times. They'll be like, what are you doing out so late? Why, it's 4 o'clock in the morning. You're out in the middle of nowhere. Your tags say Butler County. Why are you doing all the way out here? And it's like, ghost hunting. And they're like, oh, really? Where you guys going? And like one night we was going to the Monroe House like 4 years ago. And maybe 3 years ago, something like that. But anyway, I got pulled over by a state highway patrol. It was like, I was like 2 hours away, and he was like, oh, you guys are going there? That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
I was speeding. He clearly had me 15 miles over the speed limit, and I thought for sure he was giving me a ticket.
Well, it's funny because I
said
told
ghost
him,
hunting tonight, no ticket.
I told the officer, I'm like, yeah, if you ever have your day off, we're always having events there. You guys come check it out. And he's like, oh no, I don't get into that. I'm like, okay. I'm like, whatever.
The sheriff when we used to run the Higginsport school, the sheriff, Officer Sims, he used to come over and just hang out with us. Right. I'd be there all the time. I was almost there at least 3 or 4 days out of the 7 days a week. I was at Higginsport just investigating all the time. And he'd just come over and sit there in the parking lot, talk to us. He'd walk around the school with me. He didn't really.
Well, we had a few, like when we did the Detroit.
Want to get scared though.
when we had the Detroit 6th precinct, officers would come by a couple times and they were like, what's going on? And we're like, oh, it's, haunted. They're like, come by anytime you want. And a few of them actually did come in. The day of the event that we had there last July, for Ed, a female police officer came after her shift. She went home and changed and came back, and I was the one that got to take her around, and I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah,
Tell her
very
about
sad
it.
we lost Ed. Yeah,
I know.
that was definitely a sad day.
He actually came through a couple of times. Actually, we did we went with another team, a local team here in Michigan. They invited us. Well, Ace is part of their team, but they had a private location to help the location, and we know Ed came through on that box there. And it was funny because at the very end of a session, three of us who knew Ed was like, that was Ed. Like, you heard that say Ed, right? And I'm like, yeah. And then just the questions we were asking, we knew it was him. And at the very end, Ace is like, we missed you, buddy. And he's like, good. And we're like, oh, that was Ed. And then at Middle Point 2 weeks ago, we were in the it's 8:03. Shoot, real quick. So we were in the gym area with KD. He turned on his box and it said Detroit, or it said 6th precinct on it. And me and Ace looked at each other, and then the guy next to me goes, did it just say 6th precinct? I'm like, you heard that, didn't you? And I'm like, oh, that's Ed. So anywho, Ed came through a couple times already.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But anyways, it is 8:03. We're a little behind. So I know the other the Cryptid Paranormal is coming on, so I do have to get off. So I appreciate you coming on and joining us. Thank you very much. Next week, I am still looking for a person for next week, so there may or may not be a show. But if not, if I don't have a show next week, everybody have a happy Mother's Day, because that's next weekend, next Sunday. Don't forget your mamas. But thank you again, and I appreciate everybody viewing tonight. You guys have a good night. Bye. Thank you, Michael.
See you guys. You're welcome. Thank you.